Hi everybody, it's Eric with PVCMe.us, and today I'm going to show you how to make what I call a 16 by 16 solar sign with a double base. 6 months, maybe a year ago, I was out looking at some of my signs. I realized that after 5 or 6 o'clock at night, it was winter, and it was getting dark, and I couldn't see my signs at all. That's when I realized I needed to try and figure out a way to illuminate them. So I did. I went to Walmart and Lowe's. They both got these solar yard lights that you use. With a little bit of modification, you can make one of those turn into one of these. And so I've got this sign rigged up so where the light comes on at night, it charges up all day long, no batteries, no cords, and in the evening your sign is illuminated probably for at least 5 or 6 hours, but in many cases they burn all night long. So what we're making today is the double base 16 by 16 sign. We are not making the double base itself. So this double base here is on another video on PVCMe.us. If you look it up, it's called a double base. Very common thing. I use this for a lot of signs, a lot of swinging signs, spinning signs, and the illuminated signs. I build a lot of these things around this architecture that I've got right here called what I call the double base architecture. So what we're going to build today is this simple frame with the light on it, and you can do that and then go on, find the other video, build one of these double bases, and you're set. You can move this around anywhere you'd like to, sidewalks, grass, anywhere it stands up. Remember, if you haven't watched the video yet, you can't remember, but this thing is waterproof. So when you build one of these double bases, if you put it out somewhere, if you would like, you can fill this with water. Makes it a lot heavier. These are all tested. I've had all these signs out in my yard for 6 months to a year. They don't topple. They stay up through all the weather. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this. I've got all the parts pre-cut here. Remember, you're going to be able to go on to PVCMe.us and download the plans and drawings and a parts list for this sign here. It'll include all of the parts that I've got cut out here. And once you've got that, you watch me do the video a couple of times, you'll be able to build this sign with no problem. So I've got a couple pieces here I still need to prime, just so I can show you how. I'm only going to prime one end of this one, because this is the one that's actually going to go in and hold that light on the sign. All right. These two, I've only primed one side because those are the legs that are going to go down those holes. They don't need priming on the bottom. And I've got a few little miscellaneous parts here I still need to prime. Do that on purpose so I can make sure I show you in every video priming. It's very important. You've got to make sure that you get all of the interior portions of these fittings primed up dark purple. Without that, you're not going to get the bond that you need to make these things survive throughout all the weather that you're going to put them out in. So I believe that's it. So in this project, the first thing I'm going to build is the bottom rail here, because this piece here is very important. Section here is 5 1/4 inches long. That's critical in order to make it fit this double base. The math on this is a little bit different than the math on this, so you've got to stay in with what I've got here in order to make this double base work. So we'll start with that center piece. We're going to glue up one 1-inch T, put that 5 1/4 piece inch in the middle, glue up the other T. We're going to hold that down on the table flat, push it together, make sure this whole thing is flat, stays flat on the table. Then you can give it a hit and set it. Double check, make sure it's right. That is going to be the part that fits down in your base and makes your whole thing work properly. After that, we're going to put on the two side pieces. Now we've got that. So the next part to make sure that you get on properly is the two 90s on the end. They have to go facing up, so you want to make sure you've got your project properly facing. Put the two T's facing you, and then you can put the two uprights, the 90s, going on the other direction. Again, very important that you hold your project down flat. Put that piece on, you're holding the whole project flat while you push that piece down. Make sure everything's good and flat. Back up, set that piece, double check everything. You're going to put your last 90 on this end. The same procedures. You're going to hold your project flat, push that as far as you can, and there you go. You've got this piece put together now. For the top piece, you can see it's got a T in the middle here. It's tilted at an angle. That angle's up to you. It needs to have some type of angle so that you can get this light up above the sign so people can read the sign. But you want it up not too much of an angle so that you can still direct that light down on the sign at night. So we're going to start by putting together the middle section here. I'm going to glue up both of the long sides of this T here, and then I'm going to set both sides. Alright, so there's your part that's going to hold the light. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and insert this and glue it in place. That's going to allow me a little tool that I can use to see how much angle I want to give this sign as I start to put this together. So we know we don't want this straight out, and we know we don't want it up. So it's going to have to be at an angle about like that. So once you've got this piece together, put it off to the side for a little while. We're going to come back to it. We're going to build the rest of the sign. We're going to put this in last. That'll allow us to make some adjustments before we set it in its final position. So we're going to go ahead and add our uprights to this sign. Glue that 90. I'm going to glue the other 90 and pound the other piece in. So we are going to put these 90s on the upper portion here. Right? Again, we're going to make sure everything is flat. Tilt that down so that you get a firm base to knock against. Glue up the other 90. Put it on. Alright, there you go. You've got the majority of your sign built. The last thing we're going to do is put this piece in. We're going to glue up both of these 90s. Then I'm going to take this T that we've made. We're going to set it in one 90 and in the other 90. And now we're going to make our adjustments. So you see I've got it in just a little ways, so now I can move this up and down and make sure that I've got the angle that I'm looking for. Move this one over here so you can see. So that's about the right angle, I believe, for that particular light fixture. So once I've got this set at the angle that I want it, then I can come back and set those two fittings down, and in a matter of 30 seconds that thing will never move. Right? You still have a chance at this point. If you want to make a minor adjustment, you can still force this up and down a little bit. All right, we're going to put the legs on here. We're going to come back. We're going to drill one small hole in here. We're going to line it up, and we're going to drill into the light, and I'm going to show you how to mount the light fixture. This is the easy part for you guys who've already done some of this before. Nothing to putting these legs on. This is a yard light. You can buy them at Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot, probably most everywhere. Comes with a spike on it. It's adjustable. So I pull the spike off, and I'm going to want to have this light there. I can make my adjustments here. Turn it down so that it will illuminate my sign. What I'm going to do now is drill a hole through the plastic of the light and the plastic in the pipe. So I'm going to turn this where you can't quite see me. Let me do this. So I got my light centered, so it's going to be pretty well straight there. This part on the pipe on the light is plastic, so you're not going to need to do anything special except fit it in the hole, get it lined up properly, and then we're going to drill a hole through the PVC and through the light fixture base itself. And I'm going to take and I'm going to drive one screw in through that hole, and that'll hold it there pretty much forever. So I've got a self-tapping screw, not that you really have to have that, but I'm going to line it up in that hole. I'm going to drill it right through. And there you go with your light. You can tilt that down. And then I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but when I block this off, the light comes on. So at night, this light is going to illuminate your signs. If you go to PVCMe.com, you're going to be able to find multiple signs like this with one or more lights. You're going to find signs on there that have lights on both sides, signs that swing in the wind and have lights on them. I've got a whole series of illuminated signs. This one is for a sidewalk or for a drive-through window or something like that you want to set outside. You want to make sure somebody sees your product even after it gets dark. This is a 16 by 16 illuminated double base mounted sign. Go to PVCMe.us, download the video. You can watch me make this as many times as you need it. And on there you can also find PDFs of the parts list and a drawing. And once you've got all that, you can get all these pieces and parts put together. Watch the video a few times, you'll be ready to go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you'll catch all the new videos that we're putting out as I invent new signs as they come along.